Because I just, thank you so much. I wish they could just show all of us how to do that, but they don't show anyone. It's me sending emails to the distant learners. So don't be scared. Is it actually funny or no?
Okay. So there's this game that we played a few weeks ago where you have to basically, like, you don't know the answers that anybody else put, and there's an order of things you put it, and you, like, fold it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
A person, another person, a place, an activity, a question, an answer, and a moral of the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you don't see the answers before, so everyone's just writing random crap, and at the end you read it, right? So a few weeks ago, this is the one we did.
Oh boy.
Okay, so it was Jessica Rabbit and Avery were behind the mall in the alley doing body shots with Ryan Reynolds, Megan Fox, and Cardi B.
I probably shouldn't finish it.
Jessica Rabbit asked Avery, "Are you ready for this challenge?"
No,
I don't think so.
no more.
Okay.
Shh. Derek, take your quiz. Put the mask on right.
Taking a quiz right now?
Yes, I said that like 4 minutes ago. You guys have about 7 minutes now. Okay, distant learners, welcome back. Okay, sorry about that. We had to change the stream. It kind of froze up. Okay, I am messaging all of you guys the quiz right now. Okay, so once you get it, you can work on that. You guys will have about 8 to 10 minutes to work on it, and then we will have notes after. See, we got Jeremiah sent, Adam sent. Yes, ma'am. When you're done, just flip it over. You can work on something else. Okay, do not pull out any history thing. Once you flip it over, you may not touch it again. All right, so when you're done, flip over your quiz and put it at the front of your desk. On the back, yes, you can. Yes, sir. What?
For the test question, can you put the second place, the other place you got X out to?
No, I just want the one it's asking for. All right, we got Jeremiah, Adam sent, Lacey was sent, Yuvi, I sent it, Giselle, I sent it, Maya. Yes. But all of the answers were either in the notes, the homework, or the people, and the reading. As a teacher, really, I don't have to give you any questions that are on a quiz. But I am kind to you guys, so I try to help you out. Yes. What's question number 7 again? I don't remember. No, what's the question? Shh, Adrian. Shh. Isaac. Shh. Make sure you're not on your phone. I didn't say you were. I just said make sure you're not. I know you like to be on your phone sometimes. Okay, what is going on? My computer now. Shh. So we're supposed to be talking during a quiz? There we go. All right, I need to send it to Maya. I need to send it to Is anyone still working? All right, finish it up. You guys only have a couple more minutes, then we're done. Okay, if you're done, you're just sitting there quietly. You don't need to tell the whole world. All right, let's go. Jaden, give me a bonus topic. All right, there is no more talking as of now. So Adrian, if you need to move, I will move you. You're not with your head down. You're pulling out your notes. So put your head up, or else you will get demerits. Adrian, now, pull out your notes. Don't say what, you hear me. That's a lame excuse, because yes, you do. And if you need more, I got a whole bunch right here. Yes, sir. Yes, I can turn the AC on. All right, no more talking, guys. Again, if we're struggling, I will change it next week. Adrian, okay, stop being incompetent. It's right there. You saw me point at it. And I've given you notes 3 times now. All right, we were talking about Napoleon. Okay, so let's listen well. Let's get through our notes. Okay, and we won't have that many. There is no homework today because it's Wednesday. Also, announcement, there is teen Bible study or youth group, whatever you guys call it here. I'm just in person tonights. Yes, in person tonights. Okay, so if you'd like to come to that, that is at 7 o'clock. It is in person tonight. You're welcome. You're welcome. Because I just found out today. They told me today. So I tell you today. What? Tonight at 7. All right, Napoleon Bonaparte. Obviously not said like that. Okay, like many dictators, remember he's become the ruler now. Okay, he's basically pushed out all the other legislators, governors, rulers. Okay, like many dictators who have come to power in a time of turmoil, he firmly established himself by promising and obtaining peace. Okay, was it truly peace? Not really. Okay, in 1799, Russia withdrew from the coalition against France. Remember, what 3 countries came together to go against France? Not Prussia, no. Russia, England, and Austria. Doug said it. It is Austria. Okay, you might not need to know that, but on a side note, those are the 3 we talked about. Okay, and so in 1799, just a few years later, okay, in 1801, 2 years later, Austria also made peace. Yes, sir.
It's pronounced Barnapad, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I'm messing around. That's why I said that's not actually how it's said. No, that's why I said that's not how it's actually said. I just like saying it like that. Bonaparte, you know. Okay, Austria made peace in 1801, again, mainly out of fear because France was too strong. And then in 1802, England also made peace with France. Okay, they were sick of their trade being messed up. They're like, man, we can't do this by ourselves. We're going to also make peace. Okay, but although their external enemies and everything have made peace, we're going to see some internal problems come to be. Okay, not right away, but we will see some things happen. Everyone good on this one?
No.
Well, put your book away then. Don't scribble. Put the book away. No. It's because you're reading and you don't want to write it down. Oh, sure. Okay, internal reforms made by Napoleon. Okay, these are some internal reforms that Napoleon made. Okay, again, he's changing the government. That's why we all know him, and we're getting to the point where he is a tyrant. He's making it what he wants to make it. Okay, not for the benefit of the people. Okay, first we see taxes were collected by professional collectors. So there was a minimum of corruption. Okay, it would no longer just be a normal tax collector or normal man. Okay, because sometimes, even in Bible times, we see collectors, okay, they would charge more, they would keep some for themselves, and then they give to the state what was the state's. Okay, they're robbing people. So Napoleon basically hired professional ones, or people he trusted, okay, to be these collectors, to make sure they're not being cheated, but to also make sure they're not cheating. Okay, we see also law codes were made to establish known collectively as the Code Napoleon. Okay, pretty common sense. He makes these laws. Code Napoleon. If there's a typo, I'm sorry. I mean, there always is, but this time I have an excuse. I cut my finger. last night. So I was looking for my remote. You know how like couches have springs on the bottom a lot of times? Well, I was looking quickly, so I ran through inside the cushion, and there was a spring popping out, and it ripped under my nail. Yeah, so it's not a huge cut, but it's really sensitive right now. So it was tough typing last night. But I think I did pretty good. Maybe better than usual. Who knows? Maybe I need to have this more often. All right, peace was made. Peace was made with the Catholic Church. Okay, when he signed the Concordat, okay, which was a formal agreement with the Pope. Okay, remember at this time, before Napoleon, what did France, or these people, the French people, adopt as like their main religion? Atheism. Okay, so Napoleon is basically making a reunion with the Catholic Church, signing this formal agreement with him, saying, hey, we're going to work together. So we're going to see Catholics come back into France. Okay, this is going to lead us. Yes, sir. Okay, yes, I see. I see. So do I get to point at that next time you make excuses at practice? Or when your grades are too low? Do I get right there? Right there? Yeah? All right, we're going to see Napoleon's first wife. Anyone know it? Should have. Hopefully you know it. His first wife. Josephine. His first wife, guys. First wife. He married later, yes. 18-year-old. It was someone, I forget, the Austria's leader's daughter. That was the one you're talking about. How am I supposed to know? Why does it matter right now? Okay, Josephine was Napoleon's wife. She accompanied him to the Church of Notre Dame, or Notre Dame if you say Notre Dame. Okay, when the Pope Pius VII came to Paris to bestow upon Napoleon the seal of religious consecration. Okay, again, it all goes back to, okay, the Catholics, again, they're not really about God. Okay, they're about themselves. They're coming back into the picture. Okay, Napoleon, was he really a religious man? No. Okay, but with the Pope basically saying, hey, we're giving you a seal of consecration. We're giving you the authority, saying, hey, we're working with you. Remember, they made that agreement. Okay, we're going to work with you, so we're going to give you our authority so we can work together and have that power. Everyone good on these? You guys all wrote this one down? Not that many blanks? I forget how many blanks are in each one. So, okay, Napoleon was declared emperor after this happened of the French, okay, by the Pope himself, but at the ceremony, he took the crown from the altar and placed it upon his own head. Again, he didn't really care about the Pope. He just did this as a political move, so he had even more power, okay, crowning himself the King of France. Crowning himself the King of France. Distant learners, let me know if you did not get that quiz. I sent it to all of you guys, whether by message or email. Check it out. If you didn't get it, let me know. I'll resend it. Make sure that's turned in either today or by Friday. Okay, so we see Napoleon again. Remember, he started out just as a normal student. Remember that? Then he became a commander. Okay, then he came back and said, hey, I've done all these things for you. Now I want to be part of the government. Then he pushed out the government. Okay, now he's crowning himself king. Again, this is all leading us to the Napoleon we all well know. I don't know, why do you guys keep on saying he's so short? I'm not, it's average. It's average. Actually, it's a little below average, but. Okay, shh. Napoleon intended not only to rule his own country. Okay, again, this man, okay, he's becoming this tyrant that we know him as. Okay, he now is not content with his country, but he's like, I want to rule it all. I want it all. You know what I'm saying? That's not the one, Doug. Wrong one. Wrong one. I got you, Isaac. I got you. Or like, I'm on top of the world, you know. That's what he's singing. All right, this will bring us to some plans that he makes for his, per se, idea of the new world. Everyone good with this one? Shh. Derek, make sure you're doing notes, not doing whatever you're doing right now. Okay. Napoleon, or he, had plans for an empire in the New World. Okay, the New World is obviously present day North America, some of South America, or Central America. Okay, but these plans failed after a slave revolt in Haiti. I've actually been there. I have. Haiti. What?
You been a part of a slave revolt?
No. That's actually what she said too. No, I've been to Haiti.
I meant have you been to the slave, like to just the slave?
No, no. Okay, and in 1803, again, this is just a few years later during when England is making peace. Okay, he, or Napoleon, was forced to sell the Louisiana territory to the United States. Again, this is while France and the French people are making their revolution. That's why we talked about the American Revolution is kind of going on during the same time. Okay, so the United States basically made, now there are 13 colonies, our little states, the beginning of America. Okay, France is all the way on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. They're trying to do their own thing. Napoleon comes to rise. Okay, he tries to grow and go to Haiti. Okay, but his little area that he owned has a slave revolt. They lose some power over there. He's like, hey, I want to at least get something out of it. Just like in the NBA, say you have an all-star player and he wants to leave. Okay, you don't just keep him for his contract because then he just leaves and you get nothing. You trade him so you can at least get something. Okay, so he's like, hey, I have this Louisiana Purchase, which was named after who?
King Louis the
14th. Good job. Okay, so he said this land, we don't really need it anymore. Let's just give it to the United States and get something out of it, maybe an alliance down the road. Okay, which they will. Shh. Yep. Okay, then on October 21st, 1805, so now 2 years later, the British Navy defeated the combined French and Spanish navies at the famous Battle of, if I say it wrong, I'm sorry, Trafalgar. We're just talking about the French, okay, right now. There's a lot of things that happen within that. What is that?
Who's in a group chat?
Well, you better turn it off before I take it. Derek.
Derek, stop texting. I don't have a phone.
Elijah, just turn your sound off, dude. All right, there you go. Okay, again, we're just talking about the French. Okay, obviously there's a lot of things happening in America, a lot of things happening around the world. Okay, we're talking about Napoleon, his rise, and now we're going to be talking about soon his fall. Okay, 1805, a few years later, we see, again, the French and the Spanish navies were defeated by the British. Okay, at this battle. You need to know the Battle of Trafalgar and what it is. Okay, Trafalgar is located on the southern coast of Spain. Okay, at the entrance of the Strait of Gibraltar. Okay, so it's southern Spain, kind of towards northern Africa. Okay, which is going to lead us to the famous man that helped take down, or the beginning of taking down Napoleon.
Bro, wasn't it?
It was on your quiz,
It was,
so hopefully someone knows it.
I forget, wait. It was, I forget his name. Oh, it was like.
She already said it. It is Lord Nelson, but his whole name, Lord Horatio Nelson, but you just need to know Lord Nelson. Okay, he was considered by some, to be the greatest naval hero in the world that was ever known. Okay, obviously it's hard to compare, just like in sports, different eras, hard to compare. I like sports, so I referenced to it. Okay, but he is considered to be one of the best. Okay, he was mortally wounded during the Battle of Trafalgar. Okay, his last words were, "Thank God I have done my duty." Okay, basically saying, and we're going to find out through these next few notes, and probably tomorrow as well. Okay, he said that because he's like, hey, and maybe he believed this. Hey, I see the fall of Napoleon. I see the fall of this French Empire. Okay, so know who Lord Nelson is, what he's known to be. Everyone good on this one? Yes, sir.
Who's the greatest basketball player of all time?
It's tough, man. I would say Michael Jordan. It depends what. Like, what are you saying it in? Just overall, Michael Jordan.
Overall.
Michael Jordan. All right. we need to know this battle as well. Okay, the Battle of Austerlitz. Austerlitz. Okay, it is the greatest victory of Napoleon's career. Okay, again, we see these people trying to defeat him. England, okay, coming back, trying to defeat him because he's going crazy. There's a lot of things and stories we could tell about how he was becoming crazy. Okay, like the story of when he would get captives. Okay, he would send the captives and say, hey, okay, you have two paths. I'm sure some of you have heard the story already. One story or one path is your death. Okay, and you see the executioner, they see them, it'll be a quick death, whether a beheading, the guillotine, whatever it may be, quick death over there. Or you can walk to your freedom, and it's a pitch black room. You don't know what's on the other side. Okay, obviously most people, as a captive, is like, hey, who knows what torture or animals or lions or who knows what's in there, because Napoleon was known for being cruel. Okay, so they would just choose the quick death. Okay, but the few that chose the dark path, it was actually to freedom. Okay, when they reached the other side, they were free men. Okay, on a side note, just an interesting fact, if you guys never heard that story. What? Well, no, that doesn't make him crazy. That was what kind of man he was. He would mess with people's minds. Okay, obviously it was maybe a game to him. He's like, whatever, let's see what people choose. Okay, that was just a side note, fun fact. Okay, but the Battle of Austerlitz was the greatest victory of Napoleon's career when he crushed the combined Austrian and Russian army. Again, not 5 years ago. What happened with Austria, Russia, and England?
They died.
No, they made peace. Okay, but again, we see Napoleon going a little crazy, becoming this tyrant. He wanted this new world. He wanted his empire rather than just his kingdom. Okay, but we see him crush Austria and Russia. Okay, 2 years after Trafalgar, Austria, Russia, and Prussia made peace with Napoleon yet again. Okay, from 1809 to 1811, Napoleon controlled virtually all of continental Europe. So these people opposed him. Okay, but they had to make peace, not because they wanted to this time, but because they had to. Is either be annihilated or make peace. Okay, just a few more notes and then we are done. In 1809, 40-year-old Napoleon divorced Josephine, okay, who had remained childless. Okay, basically during this time, okay, one point of being royalty, certainly a wife, was to bear sons. Okay, to bear and produce sons so the name can continue, the lineage can continue. Okay, she bared no children at all. Okay, so he's like, hey, you're useless to me. Okay, that was the point of a lot of wives to people at that time. Okay, the point was to have and produce children, okay, preferably sons, so your lineage can continue. If it was a daughter, you'd use it as some kind of like treaty agreement. Hey, we would marry for a reason. Okay, the next year he married, and as we talked about what was on your quiz, Marie Louise. Okay, or Lois. Okay, this girl, or Marie, was an 18-year-old daughter of the Austrian emperor. Okay, she was also a niece to Marie Antoinette, which we know. Okay, we should remember that name. Shh. Okay, Napoleon by marriage became a nephew of Louis XVI. That's why we should know Marie Antoinette. Okay, so now Napoleon is actually married into somewhat of the lineage by marriage of the original kings of France. Okay, our last note for today. In 1809, Napoleon had a quarrel. Go figure. Okay, he's having lots of quarrels. Okay, but he had a quarrel with the Roman Church. Okay, remember they made an agreement, the Catholic Church. Quarrels, not quarrels. They're different. Okay, Napoleon had a quarrel with the Roman Church again. He made it as a political move. Okay, but now he has so much power, it got to his head. Okay, and was excommunicated by Pope Pius VII. Okay, he lost the agreement. Remember that formal agreement we talked about? He lost the treaty. He lost that little bit of power and name. Okay, the same pope who had proclaimed him emperor. Okay, we're going to see how that affects him and talk about a few other notes tomorrow. Okay, it is Wednesday. There is no homework. That's where we're going to stop for today, as we're almost out of time. Just a reminder, distant learners as well. Okay, we do have teen Bible study or youth group tonight at 7 if you guys would like to come to that. Okay, you guys may be dismissed right on the dot.
All right, welcome to geometry. We're going to get started. We're on 2.25. We're on page 170 of your textbook, page 111 of your, page 111 of your textbook, page 117, oh my word. Let me try this again.
You good?
No. Hi, welcome to geometry. We're in 2.25 in your textbook. We're on page 111. In your supplement, we're on page 170. We're talking about medians of triangles today. The median of a triangle is a line drawn from any vertex to the midpoint of the opposite side. We already defined this back in chapter 1, but we're discussing it distinctly today. So let's look at theorem 31. Yes, how can I help you? Theorem 31 states that the medians of a triangle, I'll talk about it at the end. I'm already getting there. You just, let me teach. Okay, anyway. The medians of a triangle meet in a point called the centroid, which is 2/3 the distance from each vertex to the midpoint of the opposite side. All right. The proof is on page 112 and 113 of your textbook, so make sure your textbook is open because I did not reproduce it in your supplement. Yeah, I know you all have to actually use your textbooks. I told you the days of the supplement are ending. Where's yours?
It's under.
Oh my goodness. So it's on your desk. You're just that lazy.
Yes, it's literally.
Okay, cool.
You want to yeah, nothing's heavy.
Number 1, we have triangle ABC with medians AE, BD, and CM. That is our given. A, B, and C must equal a straight angle when combined. Thank you. Number 3, angle A is equal to angle CAE plus angle EAB, and angle B is equal to angle ABD plus angle DBC, because the whole is equal to the sum of all its parts. That means that all those individual pieces plus C equals a straight angle. That means EAB plus ABD is less than a straight angle. So then AE and BD are not parallel because we have non-parallel lines to start with. Therefore, they meet at a point that we shall call O. We will draw ED at this point, ladies. We're also going to draw FK, and specifically where F and K are the midpoints of AO and BO, respectively. Okay, you're telling me you want to try to get through it today, and then you guys keep talking, and I'm going to stop every time you guys start talking. Make sure your mask is covering your nose and mouth. Make sure you're not talking. Thank you. All right, number 9, DE is parallel to AB, and DE is half AB, and FK is parallel AB, and FK is equal to half of AB, because we have lines joining midpoints of two sides of a triangle must be parallel and to the third side and equal half the third side. That means DE is equal to FK because they're parallel to the same line, so that makes them parallel to each other. They are equal by substitution, and by definition, then DEFK is a parallelogram. Continuing on to the next page. FE and DK bisect each other because the diagonals of parallelogram bisect each other. That means FO is equal to EO and DO is equal to KO by definition of bisector. By definition of midpoint, AF equals FO and KO equals BK. So that means then AE is equal to AF plus FO plus EO, DB is equal to DK plus KO plus DO, and AO is equal to AF plus FO, and BO is equal to BK plus KO because the whole is equal to the sum of all its parts. By substitution, we can do step 17, which basically allows us to then, by the definition of multiplications, to say in step 18 that AE is equal to 3FO, DB is equal to 3KO, AO is equal to 2FO, BO is equal to 2KO. Well, then that means a third of AE is equal to FO, and so on. Yep, I'm just going to keep going there. Then by substitution, half of AO is equal to a third of AE, half of BO is equal to a third of DB. If we double it, it's 2/3. And finally, CM meets AE and BD at O, and CO is equal to 2/3 CM. Basically, repeat steps 1 through 21, but with the other two lines. And we're not doing that, so there we go.
There are 9 guys in this classroom and 6 girls. There's only 15 people total.
Anyway,
Math related.
exercise 2.25, number 1. Okay, by the way, I'm sorry, I did misspeak yesterday. The ortho center is not the center of gravity, the centroid is. So that's my bad. Cool. Exercise 2.25, number 1, prove that in an equilateral triangle, the 3 perpendicular bisectors of the sides are also the 3 bisectors of the angles, the 3 medians, and the 3 altitudes, and that all these lines are equal. So, step 1, we have our given. Again, we're trying to prove These are all the same. And then, so step 1, we were given equilateral triangle ABC with perpendicular bisectors of BC, AC, AB drawn through DEF as shown. Okay, so then that makes, by definition of bisector then, oh, right, I should probably set this up. Okay, so by definition of bisector, F is midpoint of AB. You want to write small. D is midpoint of BC. And E is midpoint of AC.
Got it?
Yeah. Because we have bisectors, that's true. Now, number 3. The perpendicular bisectors must pass through the vertices. You can see the reason there why. So the perpendicular bisectors pass, oh my word, I cannot write today, through the vertices. I am aware that's not how you spell it. We're abbreviating. Forming AD, BE, and CF. Because an equilateral triangle is also isosceles, so if you have the perpendicular bisector of the base, it goes through the vertex. Now then, that makes BE, AD, and CF are medians because they go to the midpoint and from the vertex. Okay, so that's the definition of median. They are angle bisectors. Because the line from the vertex of an isosceles triangle to the midpoint of the base bisects the vertex angle. Again, keep in mind that an equilateral triangle is also isosceles, except for we can consider any angle to be the vertex angle. So we can move it around as convenient. All right, and then number 6, there are also altitudes because they're perpendicular. So by the very definition of the word. When you're done, write that in your proven statements. All you have to do to convert these things, by the way, is you just remove these 2 words, and boom, there's your proven statement. Have fun. Distance learners will be back in a second. All right, here we go.
When you already drink coffee, you're already getting calories anyway.
It's like 7. All right, like 7 calories. I can burn that off pretty easy. All right, anyway, in theory. All right, number 2. Prove that the median to the hypotenuse of a right triangle, ladies and gentlemen. Hi.
Hello. How was your day?
Prove that the median to the hypotenuse of a right triangle is equal to 1/2 the hypotenuse. We'll actually be using this quite heavily. It may even be a quizzable question. Okay, so this one's fairly important. It tells us to use exercises 2.21, exercise 4. So let's go back and look at that very briefly. You don't have to turn there.
Honestly, I just circled the exercise and wrote physical.
Okay, 2.21 number 4 says that the midpoint of the hypotenuse of any right triangle is the same distance from the 3 vertices. Well, if it's the same distance from the 3 vertices, that means it's the halfway point of the hypotenuse. This proof is pretty short, but we do have to go through and actually demonstrate it properly because, you know, proofs. And I went to the wrong page. Okay, so here we go. Number 1 we ever given, which is right triangle ABC and the median to the hypotenuse CO. Number 2, who is called? Leave me alone. Okay, number 2. O is midpoint of AB by definition of median. I'm aware I wrote that right into the text, sorry. Number 3. We also know from that exercise I just read out then that OC must equal OA must equal OB. How is this not the end of the proof?
I like how all when he says it, that means that.
Like, how is this just not? Okay, whatever. Number 4. Number 4. AB is equal to OA plus OB because the whole is equal to the sum of all its parts. How is that not the end? Okay, moving on. Number 5. AB is equal to OC plus OC by substitution. Okay. So then by multiplication, we have AB is equal to 2OC, divide both things by 2. Half of AB is equal to OC, which is what we're actually stated to prove. I mean, it's fine. I just feel like that was longer than it needed to be. It probably is all necessary. Like, let me put it that way. It just feels very redundant. Yeah. Yeah, I told you today was kind of short. Anyway, we have one more proof, and then I'm going to turn you guys loose on your homework proof for tonight, and then that'll be it. Now, you'll notice very quickly, just going to mention it while you guys are writing things. By the way, you're going to add those to your proven statements. Just get rid of these 2 words, and boom, there's your proven statement. All right. You also don't need the parentheses. Like, you can just not write that. Okay, anyway. What was I? Oh, yeah. Very quickly, just mentioning this, tomorrow's lecture is going to be solely in the textbook because there's really no content in there that wouldn't just be me basically copying and pasting the textbook, and ain't nobody got time for that. So we're just going to be straight out of the textbook. That's not a mistake that we go straight to 230 after this lesson. It's 2.26 through 2.29 are just a bunch of summaries. So tomorrow is going to be basically a giant review day. I'll do my best to make it interesting. I'm not just going to be there, all right, and we're going to do this. No, okay, I'm going to try to make it at least a little interesting. So tomorrow will be largely a review day with no homework. But you will have your next quiz on Friday over 2.23 to 2.26. 2.23 to 2.26. You also do have homework due on Friday up through 2.25. Mentioning that, please submit that on Google Classroom. All right, number 5. Prove that if the median to a, excuse me. Listen. Prove that if the median to the side of a triangle is equal to half the opposite side, then the angle is a right angle. Okay. Basically, this can be used to prove you have a right triangle. Very, very useful. This is the converse of the previous statement. So first of all, we have triangle ABC with median CD equal to AD equal to BD. All right. In other words, these 3 things are equal. All right. So number 2, we have angle A is equal to angle ACD. Okay. We have an isosceles triangle, so therefore the base angles are equal. And angle B is equal to angle BCD for the same reason. Okay, essentially we have an isosceles triangle here, so the base angles are equal. I wrote capital angle A, so that one. I actually don't know why we went through and wrote lowercase letters and then didn't use them. Rip. It's fine. All right. Number 3. Angle A plus angle B plus angle ACB. Okay, so this angle, and this angle must all equal a straight angle because there's a straight angle in every triangle. Oh, Lord. So then by substitution, angle ACD plus angle BCD plus angle ACB is equal to a straight angle. Substituting in step 3 into step 4, or the other way around. All right, and then I also know that angle ACB is equal to angle ACD plus angle BCD by the whole is equal to sum of all its parts. So then that means angle ACB plus angle ACB, equals a straight angle by substitution. Basically, we're substituting an ACB for ACD and BCD in step 4. Okay? Well, now I have... Hold on. So now I have 2 of the same angle. That was actually the entire point. So I have 2 of the same angle equal to a straight angle, which means 2 times ACB equals a straight angle. All right, well, then if I divide both sides by 2, that means angle ACB is equal to half a straight angle, which we know by definition of right angle is right angle. You're going to add this to your proven statements as well. Again, just remove up to there, and you don't need the parentheses. It's all right. My defense, I'm trying to get up.
Have you given anybody in this classroom a demerit?
Yes.
And me.
Mean. You would know.
Actually, no, I wouldn't.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, we wouldn't.
All right.
Notifications, our parents do.
What technically I do.
We tell you, though, or at least I do.
Nope.
It's a no, I only done so.
Hi. All right, so that's done. All right, you guys took that quiz yesterday, so that's all that's left. Okay. All right, again, you guys have homework 2.25 tonight. Make sure that gets done. Is anyone still writing? You know, I see everyone looking down, so I'm going to go with yes. That's nice.
Well, what happened was that I wrote, instead of writing angle B equals angle BCD in number 2, I wrote it on number 3, and I messed up everything all the way up to number 6.
Oof.
So I had to go back and erase it and write everything again.
That's fun. All right, again, distance learners, homework due Friday, quiz Friday. Make sure you guys are studied up. I will see you all tomorrow. Oh, today's Wednesday. Well, either way, the homework's due Friday, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, sorry. So number 1 was music. Number 2 is noise. 3 was note. If you want to look at music, noise, and note. Number 4, octave. Can't we turn those in later instead of right now? Okay, an octave is just the difference in pitch between one note and the second note. Okay, you've had a personal experience of this. When my voice goes offline, it raises an octave or 2, and so it's just the same note, just in a different key. The interferences in music. We start off with what's called consonants. That's a result of 2 musical notes interfering harmoniously. Okay? So if we were to have Lelina and Doug come up here and sing, would it be a consonance or would it be a dissonance? Dissonance is the result of 2 musical notes interfering in a disagreement. Okay? Which by the picture, you want to plug your ears. And you always go, seriously?
His ears are that high.
Okay? On him it is. Yes, sir. Consonants. So consonants is 2 notes matching, 2 notes working together. Dissonance is the 2 notes interfering with each other. You may, what'd you say? Okay, you may harmonize, but you're off pitch. Just kidding. I am just kidding. I don't know if I've ever heard you guys sing together, so I'm just kidding. I am just kidding. Okay. Okay.
When they harmonize, they're singing different notes, but it's not what you would, like, if you heard Gil harmonizing to that song, it would be a lot different.
Well, yeah, because we're not professionals.
People who aren't professionals sing.
You're putting forth a good effort. Okay. I can't. Other than kidding you right now, I can't say anything because I've not heard what it is. So, okay. The difference between consonance and dissonance is partially determined by a simple mathematical relationship. Mathematical relationship in music. How about that? Between their frequencies. Okay? Yeah. It's everywhere. You just look and there's math someplace. Something's got to deal with math somehow. Okay? The consonants between 2 notes bears a simple relationship to their frequency. The most common ratio is 2 to 1. Okay? So basically is what this is saying, if one has a is it 1 to 2 in the book? My dyslexic moment.
And it would make more sense because it'd be like from 1 to 2 and then from 2 to 3. So they both step up 1.
That would be true. Okay. 1 to 2. Okay. Let me change that for real quick, guys. Thank you. Okay. Let's get it back on the screen. There we go. 1 to 2. And you're right. It would match up better with the 2 to 3. Okay? So the ratio belongs to any pair of notes separated by an octave. Okay? And that's where you get your 1 to 2. The next ratio in order of decreasing consonants would be your 2 to 3. And then you can start putting your ratios together. That mathematical term of ratio, okay, and applying it to music, okay. How many beats in a measure? 4. Okay. Okay. Yeah, various notes, but you got 4, huh? You have whole notes, you have quarter notes, you have eighth notes, you have, well, yeah, depends upon, yeah, okay. Depends upon what's the term for it? Going a 3 count, 4 count. Can't think what that's called, but so instead of having 4 notes in a measure, you have 3 because it's 3. It's based upon 3 notes versus 3 beats versus 4 beats. Anyway, that was just a side. I was just trying to put a little bit more math into this. The distance between 2 notes on a scale or song or whatever you want to put it is what we call an interval. Your beats. This is a lot of times why we listen to a lot of music is because we like the beat of the music. And a lot of times we put this above what the words are saying. Okay? But the beats are just the burst of louder sound occurring when interfering sound waves are perceived as a single pulsating sound. Beat. Okay? See, I've got rhythm. When a musician plays a single note, the instrument, it says, actually produces. Sorry, we had a person that was a little slow, DLs. He just had to interrupt my 3A. The instrument actually produces several sounds at the same time. Okay? This is what we're talking about as overtones. The most dominant of these sounds is usually the fundamental. The fundamental, by definition, is just the sound with the lowest frequency. Okay? So, as little of interference that's going on in this, you got your fundamentals. Then you have your first overtone, and second overtone, okay, and third, and so forth. The overtones are usually softer than the fundamentals, okay, because you want to hear the main beat. You want to hear the main line of music, and so everything else would be your second and third line, making it harmonized with the other. The frequency relationship between the fundamental and the overtones is what we would call your harmonic series. So in your harmonic series, the fundamentals and the overtones is what we call harmonics, okay? And that's what Doug was trying to portray, that him and Ricky, when they sing together, they harmonize. That's what we're talking about. The harmonies are numbered from lowest to highest pitch. So the lowest harmonic is the fundamental. It's the first harmonic. The second lowest harmonic, The lowest of the first overtones is the second, and so on and so on and so on. Okay. So example, if the fundamental is 264 hertz, the frequency of the first harmonic is 264 times 1, or 264 hertz. The frequency of the second then, the first overtone, is 364 times 2, or 529 hertz. 1 octave above the fundamental. And you just take that formula and apply it to all the rest of your overtones. So whatever the first is, times that overtone. Okay? This is how you find the ideal frequency of our harmonic. So with these overtones, you have constructive and destructive interference between the fundamentals and the overtones. The constructive and the destructive interference gives each musical instrument its distinct. Now, I always call this timbre. Is that what musical people, is that what we call it? Timbre? Timbre? I don't know. Okay. Or just means sound quality. Scientists can study that interference of overtones using a device called a oscilloscope, or an instrument that portrays waves as traces of light on a screen. Okay? So these wavelengths is going to tell you how off or how harmonic the notes are, or the people that are singing are. Then we have what's called resonance. Music is the result of vibrations. Okay? Natural frequency, that's the set of frequency at which an object vibrates. Okay? So when Amethyst is playing her ukulele, she's strumming the chords, and the chords are making the vibration. The vibrations are making the sound. And when she puts the several chords together, then she has a harmonic situation going on. Unless one chord breaks, and then it. Okay. Resonance is then, by definition, the situation in which a driving frequency of an object is the same or nearly the same as one of the object's natural frequencies. Okay? You get this with your tuning forks. Okay? When you hit a tuning fork, you get the vibrations and the sound, and that's how they tune pianos a lot. Number 4, a resonator. You would find it on Amethyst's ukulele or a guitar, but it's basically an opening in the hollow-bodied musical instrument. It reverberates the sound waves produced by the instrument to make the sound louder by its resonance. Right. Okay. Good point. Okay. Short lesson. Section review 7.4. Prepare for your test if you can, if you want to. Maybe I should have made this even not open book anyway. I'm trying to be kind to you. Okay. So tomorrow we're going to start our test. DLs. Well, who was it? Jeremiah and Adam and Lacey. I think you 3, I need to send you a copy of the test. The other 3, I think, have a copy with it, okay? Maya, let me know if you do or not, okay? and then I can give you a copy also. Okay, 7.4, make sure you're getting your missing work completed, getting it turned in. Grading period is coming, the end of the grading period is coming up 2 weeks from Friday. January 29th is the last day of the grading period. So make sure that things are up to date. And I'm working hard to try and stay up with your homework of getting it graded. I'm a little bit behind right now, but bear with me and I'll get caught up here. Okay? So, that's your homework. That's going to conclude the lesson today. So, tune in tomorrow. Actually, since we're doing this open book, DLs, I will not do I will not do online class. I'll send you the copy of the screen, and so you don't need to worry about tuning in tomorrow or Friday, okay? So, with that said, we'll see you later. If not before, we'll see you on Tuesday, because we do not have school on Monday. Okay? Have a great day, have a great weekend, and we'll see you. Bye-bye.
All right, we are in 4.5. 4.5, writing inequalities for word problems. Real quick, due tomorrow is that review. The only reason for that due date change was for the game. So that was actually supposed to be due today, so you should already be done with it. So let's make sure that that gets done and in by tomorrow. Your quiz was also moved to tomorrow for the same reason. Yes, hi.
Wait, so the quiz is technically homework? Or
No, the quiz is tomorrow.
okay, and also, what is due tomorrow?
What section?
It's on the screen.
I studied my butt off in that quiz.
I told you guys both of them were tomorrow.
When?
Yesterday.
When I was acting crazy.
It was also on Google Classroom. Like, there was a note at the top of the screen.
I've not been on Google Classroom for the longest time.
That's not my fault. All right, moving on. So your quiz is tomorrow. Your review of graphing inequalities is due tomorrow. Basically, here's what's going to happen. Today, I'm going to teach you 4.5, okay? Tomorrow, you'll have the quiz and this due, and you'll do 4.5's work tomorrow night. So if you guys end up tomorrow night on your homework with questions, come back and look at today. All right, does that make sense?
Because he has to teach a lesson today.
What?
Why are we doing 4.5 today?
Because I'm going to need to teach it. Tomorrow is going to be a quiz, and that usually takes us all day. How can I help you?
On the Google Classroom, it said I got a 0, but like I turned it in.
Did you turn it in by the due date?
No, yeah, but it already said I had a 0.
You turned it in by the due date. You turned it in by the time it was due?
I turned it in today.
When was it due? That's my point. If you turned it in late, of course it's going to say you had a 0. Okay, cool. All right, let's go to 4.5. So, writing inequalities for word problems. So again, I'm teaching tomorrow's homework today because tomorrow's going to be taken up by quiz. This makes sense, okay? I promise. Because there's no homework tonight except for this if you didn't do it last night.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I'm trying to make it make sense but also be fair. All right, here we go. 4.5, writing inequalities for word problems. Practical problems may have a range of possible solutions that are limited by a given situation. For example, when a customer enters a store with $10, he is not required to spend all $10. He can spend $10 or less. Okay, does that make sense? So, this happens a lot in real life where we need an inequality. I'm going to fix something real quick. Because why do we have windows open and the air on?
Because it's not really bad.
I know, but one or the other, guys. All right, moving on. Moving on. For word problems in this case, an inequality is written and solved rather than an equation. The amount a customer can spend is x is less than or equal to 10. Okay, makes sense. When writing inequalities to help find the answers to word problems, first assign a variable to represent the unknown value. If you're stuck, use x. After recognizing the proper inequality symbol to use, write an inequality to represent the word problem, solve the inequality, and ensure that the question is actually answered. Steps are there on page 139. Let's go to example A. All right. Example 4.5a. Okay. The Frey family wishes to pay at most $151,000 for a lot and a house. Okay. A lot being the plot of land the house goes on. Okay. So a lot of places, if it hasn't been like developed like around here, you can buy the land and then custom build a house. Okay. So they're obviously not in Southern California. Because the lot would be $151,000, but we're not getting into that. Okay, anyway, what is the most they can pay, or really anywhere else in the U.S., what is the most they can pay to build a house if the lot costs $32,000? Okay, so the house plus the lot must be less than or equal to $151,000 because they're not allowed to go over it. Okay, do you see how we got there? So that's the issue, is we take their budget, we have to stay under it, we know how much the lot was, so the house is what's left. Okay? So we can go through and solve from here. They used x in the example in the book, it's fine. I'd usually pick something.
Yeah, that relates.
Yeah. So minus 32,000, minus 32,000, h is less than or equal to, whoops. $119,000. I was getting there. Keep in mind this is dollars. Now, I can't just circle this and move on because that doesn't answer the question. Okay, so the Frey family can pay no more than $119,000 to build the house, is how we would word it, written out, or something like that.
That's how you want the answer?
Yeah. Okay, we write it in sentence form.
Oh, so you have to.
And then,
You look confused.
I'm not. I'm just.
Okay, cool.
and then like for the problems, like you use the H for the example, do you want us to put like what they use, or should we just use what we think best?
Oh, on yours you can pick your own variable, unless they tell you use X for the variable, or something like that. In that case, follow the directions. All right, B. The chess club, of course, is having a spaghetti dinner to raise funds because, it's what you do. Okay, example 4.5b, back when you could have events. Okay, moving on. All right, at $4 per dinner, how many dinners must they sell to make at least $350? Now, we're assuming making more money, not a problem. Okay, I mean, personally, that would not be a problem. So, let's let X be the number of dinners sold. Okay, or D. Let's go D. Okay, so it's $4 per dinner. How many dinners? And they want to make at least $350. You see how we're picking the right inequality sign? Okay, because we want to make at least $350. If I make $350, no problem. If I make more than $350, bonus. Okay, so now we just go ahead and solve. We divide both sides by 4. D is greater than. 4 goes into 32 8 times with 3 left over. 4 goes into 37. Okay, so we get 87.5. Let me ask you a question. Can you sell half a spaghetti dinner?
Yeah.
No. Okay, so they must have their pen work. All right.
Edward.
So you round up.
Yeah, I'm trying. There we go. So D then must be at least 88. They have to sell at least 88 dinners. Technically, the equation, this is not a proper solution. However, when you answer the question, they must sell at least 88 dinners. Okay? That's when you actually take care of it. Okay? Yeah.
When we answer the question, does the sentence have to be grammatically correct?
Yes. Okay. All right. Also, just throwing this out there, keep in mind, you need to watch out for stuff like that, where you can't have half a dinner. You can't have half a person. You can't have half a van. Okay, does that make sense? Or part of one. So you need to round accordingly. So if, you can fit no more than this many people, and then you get a fractional part, well, the fractional part just needs to not be there. Okay, does that make sense? And you round down. So you have to consider what's happening to know whether you're rounding up or down. It's not whether it's 0.5 or not. It's what's happening in the scenario. Okay, so that's what we're doing. Example C. Mr. Freeland must make at least $3,275 to meet his expenses each month. So he can make more than that, right? Okay, so it's greater than or equal to $3,275. If he earns $325 commission for every used car he sells, plus a guaranteed salary of $1,1200, how many used cars must he sell per month? Well, we know he gets $325 per car, so we'll use C, represented with cars. And he's guaranteed on top of that $1,200. Okay? Notice how the $1,200 is added in. It's not multiplied by anything. Eyes on the screen. Okay? Notice how we're adding it in. Okay? The reason for that is because that money is there. It's going to get added to whatever his commission is. It's not dependent on his commission, whatever else. So he's guaranteed $1,200 a month, but he has to sell a certain number of cars in order to make ends meet. Okay? So we're going to subtract $1,200 first. And we're going to get 325 times cars is greater than or equal to, let me see, $2,075. Okay, so he needs at least $2,075 in commission. Well, how is he going to get that? Well, he's going to sell cars. Divide by 325. And C is greater than or equal to 6.4. No, I did not just do that on my head. I looked at the book. All right, so 6.4. Can you sell 0.4 of a car?
No.
No. Okay, if he needs to make at least a certain amount of money, are we going to round up or down?
Down.
Up. Because he needs to sell at least 7 cars then in order to make ends meet.
Well,
Okay, does that make sense? Now, it could mean 1 month he could sell 7, the next month he could sell 6 and be okay. Does that make sense? But if we're asked in general, he has to sell at least 7 cars every month. Yes?
I thought it was 4 and down.
Again, it's not that simple with these kind of problems. When you're talking about a scenario like this, it's not just rounding. If he only sells 6 cars, he doesn't have enough to make ends meet. If you round down, does that make sense? So we have to look at the scenario and round appropriately there. So it has nothing to do with 0.4 or 0.5. It has everything to do with he needs to sell more than 6 cars, so he has to sell 7. Does that make sense? So that's what's happening here. Okay. Example 4.5D. Sharon has $115 to spend on a dress and shoes, so that means she needs to stay under or equal to $115. Okay, does that make sense? Okay. The cost of the shoes will be at least, oh goodness. Why? Okay, cool. So here we have to actually stop and think it through. All right. The cost of the shoes will be at least 1/3 the cost of the dress. How much can she spend on the dress? So we're only looking for the cost of the dress here. So we'll use D. You could use X for everything if you really want to. I don't care. Okay, now the cost of my shoes then is going to be at least 1/3 the cost of dress. Okay, so 1/3 the cost of my dress. Okay, and this will be my shoes, which we're like, we have no information about, but we know together we're going to spend 115. So let me back this up for a second. Okay. Let me move all this down. Hold on. There it is. Let's grab that. Nope, that's the wrong thing. Wrong button. Is there a reason why you're being a pill program? Why are you being like this? Okay. So we know that the shoes are going to be at least 1/3 of the dress, but we need to figure out how much the shoes are, so let's figure that out for a minute. Okay? Together, the dress and shoes are going to cost $115, right? Okay, so do you see how then 115 minus the dress must be the cost of shoes? Yeah. So now I have the cost of the shoes, 115 minus D, must be greater than or equal to 1/3 the cost of the dress, because it's going to be at least 1/3 of the dress. Okay, so the cost of the shoes must be at least 1/3 of the dress. Okay, so the most she can spend on a dress is what we're looking for here. All right, so let's go ahead and start solving. Actually, first things first, let's figure out how we're going to handle this. Let's add D to both sides first. Okay, which is going to be 3/3D. Okay, 3/3 is 1. Okay, so that's going to be 4/3 D. So I'm going to have 115 is greater than or equal to 4/3 times the cost of the dress. Well, we need to go through and multiply both sides by 3/4. And so D is greater than or equal to, or sorry, something is greater than or equal to that. So when we do this, we get 86.25. Okay. We need to rewrite this so that D is on the left. Okay, so the dress must be less than or equal to $86.25. Is there anything wrong with that number?
No.
No. You can pay in pennies. You can do parts of a dollar, that's fine. It has to be to the nearest hundredth. It has to be the nearest penny. But that's perfectly fine. So as long as she spends $86.25 or less on her dress, she'll be fine.
Okay, just to recap real quick.
Yeah.
When you were doing 4/3 D, how did you get from 3/3 to, or 1/3 to 3/3 to 4/3?
Okay. Here, I haven't used red yet. So this segment here?
Yeah.
Okay. So we had 1/3 D plus D. Okay. So that means we're going to have 1 and 1/3 D. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mixed number.
Yeah.
3 times 1 plus 1.
Okay.
Make sense? That's how. I probably didn't explain it the best when we went through it, but that's how we're doing it. All right, any questions there? Cool. Let's go into some of these problems then. Because for some reason, problems tend to be different from the examples. So number 3. You may want to get out a blank sheet of paper and start copying stuff down. Get out a blank sheet of paper and a pencil, dude. I don't know what else to tell you here. And then you're writing stuff down off the screen. You can handle this, promise. This is not complex. I'm not doing the homework part of it. I'm doing example problems, so you guys have stuff that's very similar to your homework. How about you don't worry about it and just let me do the thing. Even if I'm giving you a free problem, who cares? What?
It says practice and not example.
Yeah, it's fine. It's practice 4.5, number 3. That's what we're going to do. It's only as confusing as you make it, man. All right, practice 4.5, number 3. The sum of a number and 2 more than twice the number is less than 50. What is the number? So let's go through and solve this. Give me just a second. I'm turning the page. I know how to do these, but sometimes the brain freezes, and I would rather just have it out ahead of time. And also, I want to make sure that ones we're doing are similar to the ones you'll have in homework. So, number 3. The sum of a number. Okay, so let's let a variable equal a number. So let's x be number. Okay? So the sum of a number. Okay, so we're going to have a number plus something, because that's what sum means. And 2 more, so we're going to have 2 more than twice the number. Okay, do you notice how I'm reading one thing at a time and doing literally exactly what it says to do? Okay, I had the sum of a number and, okay, so it's going to be x plus something. 2 more than, that means I have another addition problem where it's flipped because than is used. So plus 2. 2 twice the number. And we see is less than 50.
Oh, okay, that's a...
No, I wasn't done.
Yeah, the plus and the plus 2, it looks like a 1.
Oh, sorry, that's a plus. Yeah,
Yeah.
penmanship. Okay. Now, we can go through and start simplifying. Are these parentheses actually doing anything? No. We use them when we're setting up the problem just in case they need to do something, okay? But a lot of times you'll end up dropping them, and that's perfectly fine. All right, so we go down to the next step. We get x plus 2x plus 2 is less than 50. No solving was done. We just dropped the parentheses. Or more correctly, we distributed the positive 1 to everything inside the parentheses, but that doesn't change anything. So, all right, moving on. X plus 2x is? 3x. Now we can start solving. We have 3x plus 2 is less than 50. So we subtract 2 from both sides. And I get 3x is less than 48. What? Okay. Divide both sides by 3. And x is less than? There you go. Very similar in setup to 1 and 2. All right. A lot of these are set up very simply, so let's go on to number 12. Mostly because everything else in that non-blue section right there is very similar. So let's just go on to number 12. I don't want to waste time doing stuff we don't need to do, but at the same time, I want to make sure you guys have samples of everything. So number 12. All right, Trina Coxwell wants to purchase twice as many pounds of apples at $1.67 per pound as peaches at $1.16 per pound. If she spends at most $16.20 on fruit, how many whole pounds of peaches can she buy? So, first of all, we roll our eyes at the nonsense word problem. No, I'm kidding. This is actually a real life scenario of something you'd want to figure out, but you know, you would also more likely just try numbers on your calculator real quick in the grocery store. But we're moving on. All right. So we have, let's let P equal peaches, because why not? Then she wants to buy twice as many apples as peaches, so 2P will equal apples. Okay, does that make sense? If she wants to buy twice as many pounds of apples, we're going to let P equal the pounds of peaches. Sorry, that should say pounds of peaches, pounds of apples. Peaches. Yeah, no, peaches. All right, so 2P then equals apples. Okay, does that make sense? All right, pounds of apples. Now, to represent the cost of peaches, okay, just going to mention this. Notice that my cost of peaches would be 1/16 times P. Does that make sense? That would be the cost of my peaches. The cost of my apples would be 167, whoops, decimal, 67 times 2P. Does that make sense? Okay, that would be how I represent each. And I know total, it has to be, whoops, less than or equal to $16.20. Okay? Now again, this is total, okay? And we don't normally write the dollar sign, but I will. All right, so we're going to set up 1/16P plus 1.67 times 2P, and squishing it in there because I ran out of room. All right, but does that make sense? Okay, that's how we're setting up our equation.
Wait, let me write this down.
Okay, so our first step would be to start figuring out pricing and stuff, right? Okay, start getting stuff like that ready. So let's first of all take care of the 2 times 1.67, okay, because we can do that real easy. So 1.16p plus 2 times $1.67 is $3.34. Okay, and yes, we could go through and clear fractions, but that's not a problem. Okay, we don't need to. If we add 1.16 and 3.34, we get 4.5. Technically, we get 4.50, but it's fine. Okay, is less than or equal to $16.20. If I'm going to divide both sides by 4.5 then, whoops. Yes?
Where did we get the 3.34?
1.67 times 2.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
And then you're just adding.
Yeah, I know, it's small. I had to squish it.
I don't have my glasses. Give me a second.
And then you're just adding 1.16 to 3.14 or 3.
Yes, this right here, let's see here. This part here is us just adding to get to 4.5.
Okay.
Whoops, I don't know why I didn't include the P. There you go. All right, and I'm going to get rid of some of those boxes because, yeah. All right. So we have 4.5 over itself, which cancels. So then we must buy less than or equal to, when we do the division, 3.6 pounds of peaches. Okay? However, let's look at the problem again. How many whole pounds of peaches can she buy?
3.4.
6.
I'm at 4. Wait. Oh, wait.
6.
No.
5.
The number is 3.6. How are we getting 6 and 5? It's either 4 or 3. Which one is it?
Oh, I know it's 5.
No, 3.
Yeah, this is.
She can buy, it has to be less than or equal to. 4 is not less than or equal to.
Oh, yeah.
So she can buy,
4.
no, 3 pounds or less of peaches. If she's looking at whole pounds, you cannot buy 4 pounds and stay under budget.
Is that LB?
Yes.
Okay, first one I was 5 because that 3 can multiply to me.
Okay. Sure.
That's why that was 5.
All right.
That's the one thing
Sure.
I've never understood. What does LB stand for?
Pounds.
Nobody knows. Okay. Actually, I'm sure. Hey Siri. Why is pounds abbreviated? Why is pounds abbreviated LB?
Here's what I found from Britannica.
It's from Libra. The word Libra, which is the old word for pound or Latin word for pound. I don't know. I didn't finish reading it. Okay, if we're going to change it anyway, let's just change our whole system to metric. Okay, I'm out. All right. Just going to go ahead and drop that mic. All right.
Why do you hate metrics so much?
It's my passion.
It is?
No, I'm kidding.
I remember last year you had a whole you had to have a whole talk about it.
I hate English system.
It was
I understand the English system. I know the English system. I hate it.
I know, because last year.
It should not take 8 pages. No, sorry, 12 pages, 8-point font, 3 columns, single spaced to just list all the possible units in your measurement system.
I know last year you had a whole talk about how much you hated it before you actually had to talk about how much you hated it.
Whereas metric, we can use a prefix. Okay, I'm out. All right. Everything else is similar to what we've seen so far. It's either in an example or one of these 2 problems. So that's where I'm going to leave off today. With that being said, again, just pointing this out. Hopefully no one was looking at that too quick. All right, review of graphic inequalities is due tomorrow. Quiz 13 is tomorrow as well. And then practice 4.5 blue is due Friday.
Wait.
You heard it Friday. Don't ask questions.
That's why I see Friday because it's Wednesday.
That, and again, this stuff is due tomorrow, so you guys have tonight to work on it if you need it. The quiz was originally going to be today, but since I pushed back when the assignment was due, I pushed back the quiz, because that makes sense. And then, because we're going to have the quiz tomorrow, I'm not going to have time to teach tomorrow. So I taught today, so you can do tomorrow night's homework. No, tomorrow. Okay?
So we have no homework. If you're an overachiever, you can do both.
You have something to do tomorrow. Make sure it's done.
I did that.
Okay, cool. Then you're good.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just making it clear that you do have something to do tomorrow. All right. If you have any questions, text, email me. Send me a question or send me your question on my schoolworks. Pass that. See ya.
Okay, Douglas y Derek, did you already write the verse?
Yeah. Well, have I already written the verse?
Did you? Do you have it?
Yes.
Derek?
Wait, guys, is it just me or is everyone shifting over to this side? Well, I was here first, huh?
Finally, somebody sits next to me. I always want people to sit. I always want somebody to sit next to me, but nobody ever sits next to me.
What are you talking about? Nobody ever sits next to me.
Derek is always next to you.
That's true, but
No, guys
somebody like.
didn't even notice I was here for science.
Okay, let's read the verse one more time, okay? Mateo 7:17. Así todo buen árbol da buenos frutos, pero el árbol malo da frutos malos. Okay, go in your book to page 277. 277. 277.
I like this verse because the first part is pretty much the opposite of the second part.
Yep. 277. 277. Okay, página 277. Okay. On the bottom, there's a square there that says irregular verbs. We're going to look at the verb dar, give. Okay? Everyone sees it? The verb dar, give. Okay? I'm going to conjugate it, okay? Yo doy, usted o tú das, nosotros damos, él da, ella da, ellos dan, okay? Okay, listen up. In our verse, the verb is there. Where is it? Da, okay? What does that mean? Give, okay? Give. And we conjugate it in Spanish in different ways, okay? When we say yo, do we say yo da? No, okay? Yo doy. It's in your book, okay? Yo doy. Douglas, tú. No. ¿Tú doy? No. Tú das, okay? Tú das. Nosotros what? Nosotros what? Damos, okay? Él, what does it say in your book? Él da. Ella what? Ella da. Nosotros damos, okay? Nosotros damos. So here, who are we talking about?
Mateo.
Who are we talking about here?
Jesus. A tree.
El árbol, okay? Árbol,
Sure.
okay? What is the tree doing? ¿Qué hace el árbol? Da. It gives the what? Frutos, okay? So here, the tree is doing the what? The action, okay? It's giving something, okay? So, árbol da frutos, okay? What kind of fruit? Good fruit, okay? So, if I say, Derek le blank Douglas. What would you put? Derek le what? Derek le let's say, el sombrero. Okay. No. Derek le da el sombrero a Douglas, okay? So, let's see. Give me a short sentence about with the word da. Victoria.
What does that mean?
Using the irregular verb dar.
What does it mean? Just can you tell me it's a really good verb? Doesn't mean I know how to use it.
Yes. Yo doy diezmos, okay? She's saying I give my tithes and offerings, okay? Okay? Say that in Spanish.
How do you say someone? Gabby's not here.
Alguien?
Too late. And I don't even think you heard my whole sentence, did you?
I did. Okay? Okay. Douglas, dame una frase con el verbo irregular dar.
Isaac le da. Can I use a
Hey. No.
different version of that?
Yes.
Isaac le dio una manzana a Mr. Brown.
Oh, okay. Isaac le dio una manzana a Mr. Brown. Okay? Isaac gave an apple to Mr. Brown. Okay? What does dar mean? What does dar mean? Give. Okay? That is what? Derek, that is what? Give. Okay, let's conjugate it. In your book, I'm referring to this square right here on the bottom, right here. Your verb is dar, and we're going to conjugate it, okay? Everyone with me. Yo, tú what? Tú das, nosotros, él what? Adrián, él, ella, y ellos dan, okay? So your homework, other than your vocabulary words, well, you don't have homework today, but I do want you to find for tomorrow, you're going to write 2 sentences with the irregular verb give, dar, okay? 2 simple sentences. I know, but tomorrow, just have 2 simple sentences in your head. If you want to write them down, that's fine with me, okay? So, let's read our verse one more time. Mateo 7:17. Okay. Go to page 64. 64. ¿Cuál es la elección? ¿Cuál es la elección? 64. 64. 64. Okay, let me read them really quick for you in English, then in Spanish, okay? Which one? And basically it's just choices, okay? Number 1, the first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth, the next one, the last one, the only one, the best one, the worst one, the same one, the other one, both, neither, okay? I'm going to read them in Spanish. El primero, okay, they have them in masculine, and the one in parentheses is in feminine, okay? There's a masculine form, there's a feminine form. I'm going to read the masculine, okay? El primero, el segundo, el tercero, el próximo, el último, el único, el mejor, el peor, el mismo, el otro, los dos, ninguno. Okay? Now let's read them all together, okay? Number 1. El primero. Douglas y Derek. El primero. Número 1. El primero. El segundo. El tercero. El próximo. El último. El único. Okay. Start from number 1 again. Ready? El segundo, el tercero, el próximo, el último, el único. Okay? 7 to 12. El mejor, the best. El peor, the worst. El mismo, the same. El otro, I believe is the other. Yeah, the other one. Los dos. Both. Ninguno. Neither. Okay? I'll read them in English. You tell them to me in Spanish, okay? The first one. The second one. The third one. The next one. The last one. The only one. The best one. The worst one. The same one. The other one. Both. And neither. Okay, again, okay? What is the best one? No, what is it? El mejor. The second one. El segundo. The first one. The same one. El mismo. The worst one. El peor. The third one. The next one. The other one. El otro. Yes. Both. Neither. The only one. The last one. The last one is el último, okay? El único señor Brown está aquí. ¿Sí? El único Isaac de Falco está aquí, okay? La única amatista está aquí, okay? La mejor maestra está aquí. ¿Okay? ¿Okay? La mejor maestra está aquí, ¿okay? Okay. What is ninguno? What's ninguno? Neither. Los dos. El segundo. El primero. El tercero. El próximo. Okay. El último. Okay. El mejor. El mejor. El peor. Okay. ¿Cuál fue el peor equipo anoche?
Los Cowboys.
¿Cuál, which, was, el peor equipo?
Cowboys.
No, ayer.
Oh, ayer, Warriors.
No,
Los Warriors.
en tu juego.
Oh, nosotros.
Oh, sí.
What was the worst
¿Sí?
team last night?
You guys, just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. When's you guys' next game?
Friday. You should go watch it. With Randy.
I have a root canal that I had to get done on Friday. But I heard it's gonna be on Facebook Live, so
You can watch, right? So you can beat it by eventually.
yeah, I'll watch that again. Okay. Okay. Next, okay, again. Again, okay? One more time. I say them in English. You say them in Spanish, okay? The first one. The first one. The best one. The best one. El mejor. The second one. The worst one. The third one. The same one. The next one. The other one. The last one. Both. The only one. And neither. Okay. Now go to page 65 and 66. La cantidad y la medida. La cantidad y la medida. Quantity and measurements, okay? Quantity and measurements. Okay, how many, all, many, some, few, none, how much, almost, only, okay, almost a yard, almost, only a yard, more than a yard, less than a yard, about roughly a yard, okay? Number one, cuántos, cuántas, muchos, algunos, pocos, ninguno, cuántos o cuánto, casi una yarda, solo una yarda, más de una yarda, menos de una yarda, más o menos una yarda, okay? These are pretty simple, okay? Yes. In meters? Metros? Yeah. Yeah, metros. Just the pronunciation, I think it changes. Yes. The one on the left. There's two scores. You follow the one on the left in the little square.
The white one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's like -2 each blank.
Okay.
Okay. Let's read it. Read that with me in Spanish, okay? Page 66. ¿Cuántos? Todos. Muchos. Algunos. Pocos. Ninguno. ¿Cuánto? Casi. Solo. Más de. Menos de. Más o menos. Okay, más o menos. Again, ¿cuántos? Todos. Muchos. Algunos. Pocos. Ninguno. ¿Cuánto? Casi. Solo. Más o menos. Más de. Menos de. Más o menos. What does más mean? More. What does menos mean? Less, okay? Okay, I'll say them in English. You tell them in Spanish, okay? How many? How many? All. Many. Some. Few. None. How much? Almost. Only. More than. Less than. About, roughly. Más o menos, okay? Okay. Okay, listen up. When you want to ask how many, what word do you use? ¿Cuántos, okay? The most common question that you learn in Spanish is ¿cuántos años tienes? Okay? What does it mean? How old are you? Okay? How old are you? ¿Cuántos años? Okay? What else? Todos, all, okay? Muchos is what? What is it? Many, okay? Muchos is what? Many. Muchos estudiantes, muchos maestros, muchos árboles, muchos frutos, okay? algunos lápices, algunos libros, pocos libros, ningún libro o ninguno, cuánto, casi, let's see, I'm trying to think a sentence with casi. Okay, casi me caigo, I almost felt, okay? Casi me caigo, I almost felt. Okay, solo, más, menos. What is más de? What is it? Yeah? Yes, más de, menos de? Less than. Ninguno? None. Yeah, what's ninguno? None, okay? What is más o menos? More, no, no more or less. No, it isn't. No, yes, but not in this section though.
You have to tell me about the context.
Not in this section. What is it? What is it? About roughly a yard, okay? Más o menos una yarda, okay? Okay. What is cuantos? ¿Cuántos? How many? Okay. What is cuanto without an S? No. How much? Okay. Douglas, what's the difference between cuantos y cuanto?
Cuantos is plural and cuanto is.
Yeah, but in the book, cuantos is what?
My bad. How many and how much?
Which one is which?
Cuantos is how many, and then cuanto is how much.
Okay. So the one with an S is how many, and the one with no S is, what is it? How much, okay? One is how many, the other one is how much. Okay, let's read it one more time. Number one, ¿cuántos? Todos, muchos, algunos, pocos, ninguno, cuánto, casi, solo, más de, menos de, y más o menos. Okay, your homework, it's in the back. Let me check. 11. Okay, yeah. 213 and 214. Yes. Huh? Yes. Yeah, I will.
Grab a piece of aluminum foil and try to stick it on the wall. Let me show you something.
Yeah, but you have some time to just. You can copy the same thing. Yeah, you can do homework Wednesday. You're a big student now. Yay! Okay? Your homework is page 213 and 14, okay?
Wait, it's Wednesday.
Yeah, it's Wednesday. Wow. You can do homework while you're watching your online, whatever.
It's in person.
Oh, it's in person after your online, after your in-person church, okay? Como? You grab a pencil and you write it. Yes.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
What?
Yeah, exactly what?
Okay.
Why?
Okay, let's read the verse one more time and you guys are good to go. Oh, don't forget. Listen, don't forget to grab your stuff. There's a bunch of stuff there that I already graded. It's all yours. Wait. Read the verse. Ready? Mateo